All right, good morning, Deepwood fifth graders. I am here on my computer talking to you today because I can't be there in person. And I wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about the research resources that we have available through the library. Now, as you've probably heard, you're going to be starting a research project really soon about a topic of your choosing that has happened in the last 20th century in American history. So today I want to take a few minutes to show you where some places are where you can get information for your research project. Most of this will be review because you've done these things before, but I just wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page when you guys get started. And I just want to let you know that I will be here tomorrow, and I believe I'm going to see your class tomorrow, which is Wednesday, so that we can get started on your research. We can talk about taking notes and making your bibliography so that we can credit your sources and all of those fun nitty-gritty details that go into doing research. So please be patient with me because I'm using Google Hangouts, which is new to me, so I might mess it up a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is do a screen share. So you're going to stop seeing my lovely face, and you are instead going to see my computer screen, but you will still see me talking about the different things that I'm going to show you. So let's go ahead and start that. Okay, so here we are at the Deepwood Library homepage. You guys have seen this before, and you know that to get to our research resources, we need to go up here where it says Research Resources. So we click here, and you will see 4 columns of research resources. So I'm going to kind of go over what each of these columns are. This first column here is databases. Databases are kind of like online warehouses where all sorts of information is stored, and it's information from newspapers and from magazines and from internet articles and from encyclopedias and all over the place. So these are all of our databases. We have primary sources, which is going to be things like newspapers and radio and interviews with actual people that lived in certain events. So this might be a good resource for you as you're looking for American history. Culturegrams is mostly going to be about places and the people that live in those places. So probably not as applicable for your current project. Explorer K2 is for little kids. Explorer 3.5 is for bigger kids. This is going to be all sorts of resources, and you're going to have tons of information, just a treasure trove of things. Gale InfoBits is going to be very similar to that. Lots of information from different resources like newspapers and magazines, and you'll see some media in there, maybe videos and pictures and different things. So make sure you check both of those. National Geographic is going to be more about animals and science and the world around us. PebbleGo you're familiar with, but once again is more appropriate for our little kids. And SIRS Discover is similar to Explora and Kids InfoBits, okay? So those are our databases. The next column is books and reading. These are things you are probably not going to use for this project because it's all books and reading. So less likely. However, with TrueFlix, you might want to go there. Let's take a quick peek at what TrueFlix looks like. This is a social studies database, so it might be a really good place for you to come and get information for your project. Oh, it does not want to load. There we go. Okay, so if you are doing a project, over here on the left side are things that you might end up wanting to use, except for maybe this disasters. That might work for some people. So you have American Indians, ancient civilizations, biographies, Civil War, 13 colonies, regions in the U.S., and westward expansion. So those might apply to you. There's not really a great search way, not really a great way you can get on here and search. However, you can click through those and maybe see some different things. Okay, so that's TrueFlix. Back to our research resources. Over here is encyclopedias. Once you have picked your topic, this is where I'm going to suggest you go first. Encyclopedia Britannica and World Book Online are encyclopedias, which means they're big places where there's a little bit of information about a lot of topics. So this is a good place to kind of get an overview of whatever it is you're going to research. If you're going to do your research on a person like Abraham Lincoln, you're going to get the basics of Abraham Lincoln's life. If you want something more in-depth, after you've learned a little bit, that kind of basic overview, you might want to come over here to Explora or InfoBits. So that's let's see, Britannica. This here is ImageQuest, which means it's pictures. You might want to use that when you're actually making your project, but to start, you're going to want to go to places like Britannica or World Book, and I'll show you what those look like. So let's see. If I am in Britannica and I want to learn about, let's see, what's the topic? The Civil War, which I know it won't be something you'll learn about. I could just type in Civil War, and it'll tell me here's 2 of the generals that were involved in the Civil War. Here's some maps about them, about the war, and then a variety of other articles. With these articles, what's nice is if I want to learn about Stonewall Jackson, I can click on him. And this is a level 1 article, which means it's pretty basic. If I want to learn even more, I could click over to level 2, which is going to be a little more tricky. Oh, look at that. This looks more like it's meant for middle school. Since you guys are in 5th grade, I'm going to be expecting that some of you are going to go to this section. Make sure that when you're over in this version of Britannica that you scroll down and see that, oh, here's the introduction. If I want to learn about early life, I go here, and then to learn about him during the Civil War, I go here, okay? So that is Britannica. And then here's World Book Online, the other resource I would suggest that you use as a starting point. You guys are going to want to go to Britannica Student as 5th graders. And then you can type in your search here and see everything that comes up. Now, if we're looking about the American Civil War, here's my information. Here's my article. Here are my images, and here's some related information. Lots of good reading. Okay, so you see how that works? Oh, that one's really long. All right, so that is World Book. Another feature of World Book, I'm going to go back to the beginning where we first logged in so you can see, is this timelines. This is going to be handy as well since you guys are covering mostly social studies topics. If you see over here on the side, you can kind of scroll through and explore over here. You can also search timelines up here. So if you want to see a timeline of someone's life or a particular event, you can click here or search for it, and then you can see all of those events laid out nice and neat. Let me show you a quick example of what that'll look like. Let's see, notable Americans. If I want to learn about John Adams, here's my timeline of his life. I can click on these and get a little bit more information if there is more information, and then I can scroll through, see some pictures, and then if I just want to look at his timeline, here it is. The way to go backwards and forwards on the timeline is just click on it and drag side to side. Pretty cool, huh? So that's World Book Timelines. Make sure that you can use that as well. Lastly, over here are some other online resources that you're probably not going to use quite as much. My suggestions for you for this project are, like I said, encyclopedias to start with, primary sources over here if you're looking for that information that's authentic to the time that you're researching, and then, of course, our databases, Explora, Infobits, and SERS Discover. Okay, I'm going to come back to you so that we can see each other. Hold on just a second. Okay, there we go. All right, so that is kind of our brief overview of all of our resources. I've talked with your teachers, and I believe that for your project, one of the requirements is going to be that you have at least one print resource, which means from a book. So that means that you're going to need to get in the library catalog, which we've talked about many times. Go ahead and search for a book. If you can't find something that we have here at Deepwood, we can order a book from another campus for you. So that is always an option as well. I'm going to see you again later this week, and we will be getting started on taking notes and creating bibliographies, and I will be able to float around and can help you guys with your research. So if you're feeling a little bit nervous or overwhelmed, don't worry, because we'll make sure there's plenty of time so that you feel really comfortable with it. If you have a little bit of time, Miss Lena is here, and if she tells you that there's enough time, what we can do now is you can go ahead and grab your iPad with your classroom number, and you can go to the Deepwood website, which is the first app on your iPad, and you can explore some of those databases. If you already know what your topic is, you can go ahead and look at that. And if you're not sure, this is a good time to get some ideas, okay? So that will be up to Miss Lena, who is here with you today, just depending on how much time you have. I hope that you do have time for that, and if not, then we'll get time to do that tomorrow. All right, guys, I hope you enjoy, and I'm really looking forward to helping you work on these projects.